Hey guys, Dewey with Team Firespin here. Thank you guys for all the support on the last DDD deck profile. It's the most watched video on our channel right now, and it's got the most likes. So I figured I'd bring you the updated version, up-to-date version. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So obviously we start off with 3 DD7 Kepler. It's basically the backbone of the deck. You need to see it to win. Searches out your spell and trap cards. So obviously you play 3. 3 DDD Rebel King Leonidas. This guy's really good. Obviously he keeps you from dying to your own damage, and he helps you. He's a free special summon, so you play 3 of it. Most of the DDD monsters you play because you don't really have a whole lot of options, but he also has a cool little interaction with some other cards that I'm playing now, so I'll get a little more into that later on. But yeah, you play 3 of this guy because he's basically one of the best cards in the deck. The best monster, in my opinion, you play 3 of DDD King Abyss Ragnarok. When you summon this guy, you get another DDD monster from your graveyard. In the last video, I made a little mistake. I was still learning what the deck did and everything, so I made a little mistake there. When he's normal or special summoned, you get a triple D monster from your graveyard, and you only get it once a turn. So it's still really, really great effect, but I was still learning how to play it earlier. But he's definitely one of the best. And then his pendulum effect is also really good. So you play 3 of it. 3 DD Swirl Slime. This is the best of the slime monsters. It's basically a free fusion in hand. A lot of the way this deck plays is you just want to make free big monsters and then just out-resource your opponent. It's all you're trying to do the entire time, so this helps you do that. And then it also has the graveyard effect, which can help you get to Ragnarok, obviously. So 3 of it, you gotta play 3 of it. 2 DD Necroslime. It's not as good as the other one, but it does help you continue your plays and make sure that if your opponent has an answer for something, that you always can keep going. This also has some other interactions with some new cards in my extra deck, so I'll get more into those later on. But yeah, you play 2 of this. You definitely need to be able to keep going, so play 2. 2 DD Baphomet. I like this guy. He lets you get to the rank 8. He lets you make your Kepler, if it's stuck on the board, into a rank 4. So you put Caesar on the board. Right now, obviously, there's not as many DDD monsters or DD monsters, so you kind of are stuck with playing names. So he's kind of just a name, but he also has that added benefit of helping you get to the rank 8 and the rank 4 quicker, so play 2. The last monster, Glow Up Bulb. This is one of the new things in my deck, and yeah, it's just so good. I'll get into a little bit more about it later on, but I would definitely recommend this card to anybody who's playing DDDs right now. Alright, so on to the spells. Starting off, you play 3 Dark Contract with the Gate. It's the backbone of your entire strategy. You want to have this up as many turns as possible. And if you have it up more than 1 turn, you're generally going to win, because your opponent's just going to get out-resourced really quickly, and they have trouble keeping up. So being able to just search every turn is really important. So 3. And then, of course, 3 Upstart Goblin. You want to keep it as consistent as possible. You want to see the gates and the level 1. So play 40 or 37 card strategy, play 3 Upstart, trying to get to your stuff as quickly as possible. We also play 2 Wavering Eyes, obviously with all the Pendulum decks coming around. You play this because it searches your level 1 and also other combo pieces, so it's really great there. And then it's really great against the meta these days to have this because everybody's playing it. So if you're playing a Pendulum-based deck, this needs to be in your deck in some capacity. Obviously, DDs don't really pendulum summon that much, but it's still great to, blow out your opponent's scale and then search for whatever you need. So I play 2 in the main, and I'll also get to some in the side. 2 Transmodify. I didn't really look into this card when I was first building the deck, but it's definitely one of the best cards in my opinion. I can usually side one out because you only really need to use it once, but It's really good when you fuse into the level 7 guy. You use this on him, and you get a level 8, and he'll bring back the level 7 for free. So basically, it's just a big tempo swing that's really easy and comes from basically just 3 cards. 2 Mass Change Second. Darklaw is really good against pendulums and really blowout. So this is kind of like against opponents' wavering eyes is kind of an answer to that. And then also just there's a lot of decks that don't like to have their stuff banished. So obviously playing 2 Mass Change Second in this deck, you have a lot of stuff you want to discard. So it definitely fits. And also something to note, you can use it on the pendulum monsters because it doesn't say that it destroys them and needs to send it to the graveyard. It just says send. So they get sent to the extra deck, even though it says send to the graveyard, but because it doesn't say it must, you can just send it to the extra deck. 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, pretty much mandatory in this format. You gotta have some sort of back row removal. So I play 2 in the main deck, and that's really all you need to say about that. 1 for 1. It's basically the 4th copy of the level 1, and also it has the added utility of getting your glow up bulb. So there are certain situations where you want to do both, but basically you use it to try and get your stuff as quickly as possible. This is, after all, a combo deck. So 1 Foolish Burial against combo decks, so it helps you put pieces in the graveyard, puts your Necro Slime in the grave, stuff like that. Whatever you need in there, you can basically just dump it with Foolish Burial. Really, nothing more to say about that. 1 Dark Contract with the Swamp King. It's really good to get the big guy, the 3200, and that's really good against Cosmo. But against most other things, it's just kind of extra. So you don't really need to play more than 1. So I just play 1. And then we'll get 3 Dark Contract with the Witch. This is the Regeki break, basically, of all the Dark Contracts. Which is really good in this format, just being able to pop things and like put stuff in the... You obviously want to fill your graveyard with this deck, so this helps you do that as well. And then it also has the little nice bonus where it gives your monsters 1,000 attack during your opponent's turn, which can be really relevant. And yeah, so that will really help you out. 1 Vanity's Emptiness, one of the best cards ever made, so not really much more to say about that. 1 Dark Contract with Errors is basically a trap stun, and the combos really well with Emptiness, so I feel like playing 1 each in the, 1 in the main deck is really good, because you can make that combo where you make these 2 together and you lock your opponent out of special summoning, but you get to special summon during your own turn, so I find playing 1 in the main deck to be really, really helpful, and also it increases your versatility in game 1, so I like playing 1 in the main. And then for the last card in the main deck, I play 1 DDD Human Resources. This card is actually really good. What it does is it takes 3 DDD monsters from pretty much anywhere. You get from your Pendulum Zone, from your graveyard, from your side of the field, and from your hand. And that includes extra deck monsters as well. And you can shuffle them back into your deck, and you get to add 2 monsters from your deck to your hand. So there's a lot of really cool things you can do with it. You can shuffle like used extra deck monsters back into your extra deck and then search 2 cards from your deck. So it's really, really good. I like to use it to dodge effects sometimes. So it's just got a lot of different uses, but I don't like to play more than 1 because it can clog. So basically whenever I see this, I just love it. So I play 1 of it. It's really good. Let's move on to the extra deck. So this is where a lot of the changes have happened since I last uploaded a video. I know last time I had like a lot of rank 4s and stuff because I was just really new to the deck and didn't really understand how it worked and stuff. So anyways, let's get into it. We have 3 of the DDD Oracle King D'Arc. It's the most important one. Basically, you put this guy out almost for free with the slimes and stuff like that, and he keeps you from dying, and he gives you extra life points, which can start adding up over time. Then we play 1 of this dude, the DDD Oblivion King Caesar Ragnarok. It's the big dude. It can steal Cosmo's big ships if they put more than 1 on the board against you. So It's really good against them. That's basically the only matchup you really want it against. Other than that, it just helps you kind of OTK really fast. So you just play one of it. You don't really need more than that. So one's fine. Then the one Masked Hero Darklaw. So obviously you guys saw the 2 Mass Change Seconds. So I play one of him, which is perfect. And it really works against most of the meta today. So I would definitely recommend anybody playing this deck to play this card. And then we get into the Synchro cards, which we'll go in a little bit more in depth. So start off, we have one Cyframe Lord Omega. So this card obviously is really good. A lot of people know about it mostly because of the Cyframe deck and also like Infernoids and stuff like that. But it also has a lot of applications in this deck. So obviously it has the banish effect to not knock a card out of your opponent's hand and stuff. But that's not really the effect that you're trying to use with this deck for this card. The effect that you like to use with this card in this deck is the one in your opponent's standby phase to put a monster from your banish zone back into your graveyard. So it lets you reuse your Necro Slimes, which is why I only play 2 of it now. So basically you can use that, and then during your opponent's standby phase, you can put that back in the graveyard, and then you get to use it again. So you can do that, and that's why also you play Glow Bulbs to get this guy. Then you play Ignister Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer. Obviously, this is one of the best cards in the format. And you can make it with Glow Bulb and the level 7 Pendulum. His name's slipping my mind, but yeah, you basically make it with those 2 guys, and it's pretty blowout when it goes through. Obviously, you can target your opponent's Pendulum monsters. It just goes in all the right matchups, and you can also blow up your own Pendulum. So, like, it's just all around a great card. And if you can make it, you should probably play it. The last of the Synchro monsters I play is Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. It's basically a game ender. You wanna drop it, towards the end of the game when you're trying to kill your opponent. You can put it on the board, destroy their special summon monsters, inflict damage, and then you also get to attack, which is really, really good. So I like this as my third level 8 synchro. All 3 of these have come in really big for me in recent matches, so I love all 3 of them. Then we get to the Exceeds. So we got the DDD Duodon King Kaliuga. This is the best Exceed monster in the deck. It is a heavy storm on legs, and also it Denkos your opponent's side of the field when it comes to the board. So obviously that is as broken as it sounds. And then on top of those effects, it also can reset one of your spells from the graveyard if you need to do that. So it's just all around just really, really good. So obviously you play one of it. Mostly just for extra deck space. You don't play more, but if you had the space, you could probably play more. Then you play one Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. I like this card because it's another rank 8 option to go into. I generally try and go into Kaliuga because most of the time that's a proper call. But other situations do come up sometimes where you'd like to get a Felgrand on the board, and you can protect himself with his effect, obviously, or you can negate your opponent's monster effects. So it's a really nice card to have in there and a nice option to have. So I like that. One number 11, Big Eye. Obviously, Big Eye is a good card. So there are a lot of different combos with this deck that make rank 7s really, really easy. Like if you have a hand with the 2 different slime cards, you can make a rank 7 just off of that hand. So obviously being able to steal things in this format like a Draco Slayer, if your opponent puts something out like that or something else, like just being able to steal your opponent's cards is really, really good. One Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. I really love this card. It can't be destroyed while it has material. Since you're not playing any Red Eyes cards, obviously it's always going to have material, so it can't be destroyed by card effects. And then when your opponent tries to activate any card effects at all, they take 500 damage. So basically, obviously most people would know how to use this. You put it out there after you've inflicted quite a bit of damage, and it puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. So I like it as a kind of game ender also. That's really easy to get into because, like I said, all you need to do to get to the rank 7s are all literally 2 card combos. It's just the green and the red, and that's all you need. So, I mean, like, 2-card combos to get into a rank 7, that's really good. For the last rank 7, 1 Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. Obviously another pretty much rank 7 staple. I don't know if I really need to say more than that, but it's really good. 1 DDD Wave King Caesar. This card is pretty good. It's basically protection against battle traps. But it's not super great, so you don't want to play more than one, I wouldn't say, but it's definitely warranted. And then when it goes to the grave, you get to search one of your spell and traps, so that's always good. And then it comes back. I really like the card, but you definitely don't need to play more than one, because you generally won't make more than one ever in a game, so just play one. And then the last monster in the extra deck, DDD Marksman King Tell. It's basically like a cowboy. If you take damage earlier in the turn, you can then detach and inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent by selecting a monster and decreasing its attack by 1,000. So you can basically stack those on your opponent. Like if you've taken damage this turn, you can target your opponent's monster, have it lose 1,000 attack, and then your opponent also loses 1,000 life points, and then maybe this guy can attack over that monster. So it's kind of a really big thing. And then also if they're just under 1,000 life points, you can just kill them with it. So you definitely have to play one. It's not the greatest, and when it dies, it Foolish Burial something. So all those effects, it's a decent card. I definitely always play one, but yeah. On to the side deck. So for the side deck, right now I'm playing 3 Breakthrough Skill. Obviously, you want Effect Negation, and you want to get rid of like Floodgate monsters. So I play 3 Breakthrough Skill right now. I really like it against a vast majority of matchups, so I play 3 right now. 2 Grand Horn of Heaven. This card is just broken. Basically, it just shuts down pendulum monsters, and like you can feel when you have one of these set, you feel really safe. Like no matter what your opponent's doing, pretty much you can just stop it and take down a pendulum summon all with 1 card. And when that happens, it forces them to go to main phase 2. Like, they also lose their battle phase, basically, so that's also really great. So I love this card. At 2, it works perfectly. 2 Maxi. I don't really want to play 3 in the side deck in this format, because Maxi does clog sometimes. Yeah, I know you want to see it a lot, but I find when I play 3, I usually draw 2 of it when I don't need to draw 2 of it. So I like the 2 ratio, and it goes in against the decks that it needs to go in against. So obviously Maxi is a good card. 2 Deck Devastation Virus. It's mostly for Magispector and like Psyframes and stuff like that. So I really like the card against those decks, and against the decks that it works against, it goes in really hard. It's always great to get free information from your opponent, so being able to see what your opponent's drawing every turn is obviously very good, and since you're playing a deck that can regularly pump out darks that are high enough to tribute for this, I definitely recommend people play it. 1 extra Dark Construct with Errors. So yeah, this is searchable, but I like having more than 1 in the deck when I'm going up against a deck that plays a lot of traps. Just because like this card is so good against decks like that. You can just flip it if you have a monster on the board and you shut down their traps, and then you get to play on your turn. So I really like this card, and I like having an extra copy of it in certain matchups, but I don't want to have too many in game 1. So if the matchup warrants it, I'll put it in. 1 Raigeki. So a lot of the format right now is OTK heavy, and this goes in mostly against Rogue, because basically Raigeki is just not as good as it used to be. You could always run into Magispector or something where it doesn't really do anything, so you put it in against certain matchups, and it's definitely worth playing still, but not against most of the mainstream decks. 1 Eradicator Epidemic Virus. So same story as Deck Devi. Basically, you can make the monsters to tribute for it, and it gives you free information, so why not play it? The 3rd Wavering Eyes. So obviously I've already spoken a little bit about Wavering Eyes. It's just one of the best cards of the format, and against pendulum-based decks you want to have 3, so I play the 3rd inside. And then we get to the third MST. Same sort of story. If they have back row or heavy floodgates and stuff, like, you really don't want to deal with floodgates. It's a combo deck after all, so you want to have 3 MST at your disposal, so play the third inside. And the last card of the side deck is Dark Contract with the Swamp King. I play a second copy in the side deck just because I want to see it against Cosmo. So, because I want to be able to make the big guy. So that's why I played 2 overall. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck, guys. Thank you for everything. Rate, comment, subscribe, and everything like that. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. And anyways, guys, thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.